So, you've just got a Modern Warfare for Christmas and you are looking for the best tips and tricks to help you dominate every single lobby. Well, you have came to the right video. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on a few tips and tricks and a few things that you should know if you are new to this game, if you've got this game for Christmas or anything like that. And of course, if you guys are a current viewer of mine, or if you've been watching this video, my channel for a while, then I will still have some tips and tricks for you guys. These tips do still apply to everyone, but mainly I'm going to be focusing on some tips and tricks for the Christmas noobs out there. So, without further ado, if you guys do enjoy this, or if it does help you out in any way whatsoever, please go ahead and drop a sub and a like. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers, so maybe for Christmas you guys could help me get to 20,000 subscribers. That would be absolutely awesome. But without further ado, let's just get into these tips. So, the first tip I'm going to be talking about is to change your settings, and this is basically a mistake I see a lot of new players make. Obviously, when this game comes out, it happened at the beginning of this game as well, a lot of people forget to change their settings, and changing your settings can help you in so many different ways. There's going to be different aim type response curves on there, so there's going to be linear, dynamic, there's going to be normal response curve. All these different response curve types will help you and change your game entirely. It will change your accuracy entirely. It will change everything about the game. It will have a sensitivity option, so you guys are going to want to change all of those, etc. So I do recommend you guys going ahead and changing your settings. So for example, with the sensitivity settings, I recommend you guys using around about a 7.7, but that is just my opinion. You guys can go ahead and use whichever settings you guys feel like. I do have a few videos on my channel with some of the best settings for this game, so if you guys are interested, then by all means, you guys can go ahead and watch those if you guys like. And of course, for the aim response curve type, that is actually very important to change. Now personally, the response curve, I can't even say it, the aim response curve type I use is going to be the dynamic one. Now, in my opinion, dynamic is just the best one. It helps me get a better accuracy, and ever since I started using it, I have been doing a lot better, so I do recommend you guys giving it a go. Anyway, that is the first tip, which was to change your settings. The next tip is going to be to kind of stay towards the edges of the map. Now, I don't mean to the very edges of the map, because the maps on this game are extremely big. And the edges of the map are literally, like, you're not even going to see a single enemy sometimes if you go to the edge of the map. But what I mean is, basically, as you guys know, on every single Call of Duty map, there's always like a middle of the map. There's always like a main area of the map where most of the enemies are and where most of the action is taking place. Now, what I mean by sticking to the edges is basically sticking to the outskirts of the busy area. So don't go into the very center of the busy area, because you are obviously going to be killed by every single angle. Like for example on Shipment, if you guys watch me when I play this map on Shipment, you guys will notice that I stick to the edges of the map. I never really go into the middle of those crates, because that is where I'm instantly just going to get killed. So I do recommend you guys sticking to the edges of the map. I can't stress it enough. It is a very helpful tip. Next up is going to be to actually go ahead and look at your select fire options. Now, if you guys look into the bottom right of my screen, as you guys can see, just under my weapon, there is a little D-pad sign with two little options for the fire selection rate that I want to pick. There is one which is fully automatic, and then there is one that is semi-automatic, and it shoots one bullet every single time you press the trigger down. Now, this can actually be very helpful, and I never ever see anyone even using this, which is quite surprising. Now, this is quite a new option we have in this game. Usually in previous Call of Duties you would have to put a perk on, or like a attachment on that actually makes it into a select fire weapon. But on this weapon, or on this game, every single weapon pretty much has a select fire option. So you can select a fully automatic option, or you can select a semi-automatic option, which is actually very helpful, especially in those longer range gunfights. So let's say, for example, you see someone in the very back of the map, maybe they're on a head glitch. It's going to be a lot easier for you to actually go ahead and select fire to the semi-automatic one instead of trying to get them across the map with a fully automatic weapon, because obviously when you have a fully automatic weapon, the recoil is going to be too much, especially for if they are a very small target far away. So you guys are going to want to have the select fire option on instead, and you guys will be able to pick them off a lot more easily with the select fire option. And trust me, it's a very underrated and secret kind of tip. I never see anyone talking about it, but I do really recommend you guys using it. So once again, basically, if you see someone at far ranges, think about if you should use the select fire option or not. Now, by all means, sometimes it might be better to use the fully automatic mode, but if they are on a stupid head glitch and they are a very small target very far away, it will be easier for you just to select the semi-automatic select fire instead. So that is definitely a very good tip that you guys should think about using. I do really advise you guys thinking about it and giving it a go. Anyway, the next one is going to be to check corners. You guys are obviously going to be new at this game if you've just got this for Christmas, and you've probably seen people play this game, and you've probably heard a lot of people saying about how campy it is. Now yes, that is correct. This Call of Duty is probably one of the most campiest Call of Duties that we have had in the previous Call of Duties. A lot of people sit in corners, a lot of people sit in windows and buildings, so I recommend you guys, if you enter a building, or if there's a window somewhere on a map, I recommend you guys just checking it before you continue in the game. So let's say, for example, you go through a building door, I recommend you guys just checking the corners as you enter, because there is 9 times out of 10 there's probably going to be some little noob with 10 claymores sitting around him with his riot shield with a shotgun, just sitting in the corner waiting for you to come through that door. So I do strongly advise you to check the corners, check windows, check anywhere possible. So once again, whenever you enter a building, check the corners. If you are coming up to a building, I recommend you guys checking the windows if there is any window campers. I recommend you guys checking doorways, checking little corners, literally check everywhere. It's going to be helpful. And that kind of takes me on to my next little tip, which is going to be to pre-aim a lot of the corners. Now, pre-aiming is going to be very key for you to win a lot of gunfights on this game. Now, on this game, all the weapons are very different. If someone has an LMG and you have a SMG, a lot of the times they will win that gunfight. However, there are a few little things you can do to actually make your chances higher of actually winning that gunfight. So like I just said, pre-aiming a corner can help you guys a lot. So for example, if you watch my gameplay now, if you notice, whenever I go around a corner, I will pre-aim it a little bit just in case there is someone there. Now if there is not, like right now, I'm going around this corner and I'm pre-aiming, and I was right, there was a person right there, and because of that I managed to kill him and I managed to win the gunfight. Now if I wasn't pre-aiming and he ran around the corner, he was actually on a head glitch, so he would have most probably killed me if I was not pre-aiming. So pre-aiming is, trust me, it's one of the biggest tips that I can share with you guys, because like I said, it kind of relates to the camping situation on this game, because a lot of people do sit on head glitches, a lot of people will sit around corners. So if you pre-aim around corners and you have your weapon ready to shoot and ready to obviously be on target to the enemy, then you're going to have that little one-up on the enemy, and you're going to be able to get your accuracy on first and obviously win that gunfight a lot more easy. Now the next tip is going to be to use streaks that you actually know you can get. So I see a lot of people making the same problem where they use score streaks that they can't even get because like they're not good enough. Like, no offense to you Christmas noobs, but you're going to be new at the game, you're going to probably be struggling a little bit because everyone you're playing against is going to be more experienced than you. So I don't recommend you guys sticking on these ridiculously high score streaks like a gunship or something like that. I recommend you guys sticking on something a bit more easy to actually obtain, such as a care package, UAV, maybe a VTOL, which is like 8 kills or something like that. So I really do recommend you guys thinking about what score streaks you actually put on. Like I said before, a lot of people do use ridiculously high score streaks that they can't even get, and it's kind of a waste of score streak, because let's say for example you stick on like a gunship. Instead of sticking on a gunship, let's say you got 7 kills in that kill streak. Instead of going towards that gunship and actually dying and not getting that kill streak, you could instead you could have unlocked care package, and who knows, you could have got a really good score streak in the care package, or you could have got a Beetle, you could have got a chopper gunner or something like that. So be more realistic with your score streaks. Don't stick on ridiculously high score streaks. Like for me, I'm a pretty good player. I can pretty much get any score streak I like. Most games I will get my score streaks a good few times, and I still stick on relatively low score streaks. I use a UAV, I use a personal radar, and I use a VTOL. Sometimes I stick on the chopper gunner and the VTOL at the same time if I'm feeling a bit saucy or whatever, but yeah, it's completely up to you on what score streaks you guys use. But remember, please be realistic with the score streaks you do put on. If you are going for some high score streaks, then make sure you can actually get them. Anyway, that has been it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this video helped a few of you Christmas noobs get a little bit better at this game. I do have a video on some of the best Christmas noob class setups, so I do recommend you guys checking those out. And yeah, that has been it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave those notifications on, leave a like, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.